Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where I managed to get some of the data back from Theopont on the Moon. And now, I don't think I have enough research. Well, I do actually have research to get something new. Okay. That's something to think about, I guess. You can get heavier rocketry. Or propulsion systems. Use the ant, I guess. Advanced fuel systems, maybe that has something we want, especially for the mid-range Mark II stuff. Actuators. Right, is it this thing that's... There's something that allows you to, like, grab a thing and hold onto it. I think it is an actuator. Small, launch something in those hard-reach places. I think these are useful. Because, as I understand, you can get comets and asteroids and stuff and pull them into an orbit around different bodies and mine fuel off of them, and then you have an orbiting, like, refueling space station, as I understand it, which is pretty cool. We might need that to go further than just to, well, where we're going today, which is going to be the red planet Duna. We're gonna send a robot to Duna using something I built, which should be at top. Yes, I call it the Dune Hat, due to it having a very distinct hat shape at the top. It looks a bit silly, it looks a bit goofy, but it also should be fairly functional. Has a bunch of research equipment naturally, and it has the antenna at the top, drone core over here. It's very maneuverable once it gets to space, or, well, you know, maneuverable enough once it gets to space. Yeah, we have all our necessary science equipment within it, inside of, well, a service module that is the slightly advanced service module, but I can't really show you what's inside of it unless I remove these things, and I don't feel like it. But the basic idea is, of course, as it usually is, bunch of boosters, bring us up into an orbit. Then we have these rockets over here, which put us where we need to go, and the final level of rockets is mainly used for putting our orbit where we want it. Now, let's give it a go. Let's give it a whirl, because from my testing, once again, I tested it out. I missed. But I think I proved that it's possible for this thing to get in orbit around Duna. Probably. Oh, also, this can probably go here. During that layer. Okay. Well, the start is about what you'd expect. We just launch up and there we go. And once we're hitting 75 kilometers, we do a bit of a twist to give ourselves a little orbit here already, because yeah, it's more important to do this part right here. There we go, there we go. Do all that. Come on, I wish it. Oh god, oh, it's really rotating. Oh boy. I don't know how well that just worked out. Probably not very well at all. Max throttle so that we can... What was burning up here? That's interesting. We are almost out of the atmosphere entirely. So let's blast off. Good. At our apoapsis, we do a burn, just enough of a burn to give us a periapsis that isn't a crash. Whoops. A little bit more, 75k is the ideal. Points towards the maneuver. Might as well get out the antenna. It doesn't really matter now, because we're super close to carbon, but it's better to have it out before I forget it. That's there, you know? That type of thing. Yes. Also, forget, where did I put... Definitely have... Oh, I guess they are probably in there, the boom mics or whatever. Let's speed ourselves up to the maneuver. And yeah, step 1 is just to put an orbit around Kerbal. That is the very, very most basic thing you gotta be doing. So there we go. Hello, Tints. My cat demands pets. Pick perfect timing to demand them, because I have to wait 20 seconds. There's a tendency to wait for me to start recording something before making demands. He's a real gremlin in that aspect. Okay, that's good. Meow? Dude said meow? Alright. So now, my plan is quite simple. I don't know if it's the best plan. Probably not. I probably... Well, actually, I could try slingshotting off of the moon. So basically, if I want to do that, right, I go ahead and select the moon as a target. And, like, pick a point where, say, if we do it at the apoapsis, we do a burn here. How close? Oh, we actually do get close to the moon? Oh, there it goes. Oh, that is a... No. That is not how we want to be slingshotting. But what if I actually put a little twist on this thing? And like... Nah, doesn't work. Doesn't quite work for that. I'm gonna try another spot, because, I mean, the way I tested it out, I should have enough Delta V to literally just burn until I'm out of Kerbal's area of effect, and then I should be able to... Oh, yeah, by the way, I figured out you can go into tracking station, track specific asteroids, which I was trying to do with a thing somewhere. One of these satellites I have is actually a thing that's supposed to be... that I tried to crash into an asteroid, but doing that is very, very difficult when everything's going at 9,000 meters per second. It's actually quite a challenge. I think it was that one. Yeah, you can actually see that I have, yeah, an orbit bot that's going right where that thing is. They're close, but not quite there. Anyway, I'm gonna be using the moon because that should give me more burn if I can get it to work. But again, it's only going to work if we're on the same level. So what if I add a maneuver here? I don't think it... You know what? Maybe probably doesn't really work, does it? Well, then again, looking at this... There's an encounter that happens eventually, right? Because you can see that those things sort of line up. It's just not going to be on the first lap. Is it worth the shots? Save just a little bit of Delta V? I'm gonna say... Perhaps controversially... Nah. I don't think it is. Because the majority of the burn is going to be getting to that moon level anyway. So you know what? I am just going to straight up do a maneuver. Burn. Well, then again, hold on. So this gives me a slight moon encounter. So this does slingshot me. I wish I could see the velocity I would have after that encounter, because if it goes up, then that is worth it, but I think probably not. I'll mess around with it a little bit more and get back to y'all. I mean, this is an interesting one, because it does look like it slingshots me off the moon. Lower the periapsis even more, not to a crash, but... I'm kind of curious about this maneuver here. 1000 Delta V, and it gets us a Kerbal escape. I think 1000 Delta V would have gotten us Kerbal escape anyway, but maybe this will fling us even more quickly? I don't know, it's worth an attempt, I feel like. I love the self-thumper so much. It's so stupid. Zip zoom to the maneuver. Point to said maneuver. Speed 10 until we are at the maneuver. Just about. Let's give it a shot. Yeah. Well, that's slightly more than we intended, but... I mean, basically what I want to see is if, when we get to this point, it works in a way where our speed will increase instead of decreasing when we get to the moon encounter. That is my question. So here is said encounter. We are at... It is increasing, actually. Look at that. I mean, it's not increasing by huge amounts, but it is actually increasing. Which is good, because we need to try and make some distance between us and Kerbal. Kind of, in a way. More than not. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I think this was the right maneuver to do. It's like an extra several hundred Delta V at this point. Although I assume it's gonna go back down here? Or is it gonna make it lower than it would have been? I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's like at least a little bit of a speed boost. But I don't understand physics, so like... Don't go asking me. Let's go 1000 speed. And look at that, we are now on a trajectory to escape Kerbal, so let's escape Kerbal. Yeah, let's see. Path is fine. We're linked to like everything everywhere all at once. Got solar flexus, everything that's on the moon, everything that's on Kerbal. Reconnected to... Didn't I have something orbiting Minmus? Am I insane? No, I do have something orbiting Minmus. Don't I? Yeah, I do. I'm just not connected to it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I do have some extra things. I have extra, like, photovoltaic panels, and I have extra, antennas, but they are on this level. That's the last one. And I do not want to extend any of that, because once I disconnect this one, it's all going to, like, crash into each other. Although, I think I have 2 antennas, so I can extend one of them, right? There's one. There's 2, so I can extend one antenna. That's fine. Okay, now let's zoom over to an escape. Now, fundamentally, I kind of understand what an orbital transfer is, right? You're sort of flinging yourself off out of one orbit into another. We don't have we don't really have any kind of time constraints on going to Duna here. And because we have a epic satellite network all around the sun now, with the solar flexus and orbit bots, I'm not really all too worried about when we get this done. But, so let's set a target, Duna. Duna's our target now. And if we want to get to Duna, when is the closest point? Closest point on our orbit is here. Which seems ideal because it's also where the descending node is. So if I went to the exact opposite point where the ascending node is, if you don't know, these indicate, as I understand, the sort of angle compares to like from your orbit to theirs. So like when we are at this point where the descending node is, we line up on this axis perfectly with where the orbit of Duna is. And descending node means it's going slightly down, ascending node means it's going slightly up. It's my understanding of it. So if we do an ascending burn, prograde burn rather, to try and grow, we need to grow. Oof, we're gonna go into the final level there. If we try and do it like that. Wait, where am I going? Oh my god, I messed up. That's dress orbit. It literally is lit up and I'm going, what? Well, good news is, this vehicle could go to dress, potentially, if I'm lined it up correctly. That's actually really good to know. I can put something around dress with this. Let's try it again. Ascending node. Don't need to go... Yeah, look at that. We're all 678 and we are already here. Now, I would like it to not take years to get there, though. So let's see. If here you can see that, well, basically no matter how I spin this, the distance between these two things, if I just do a prograde burn, should be the same. I can sort of shift them closer with this kind of burn, and you can see, yet eventually, if I do this kind of burn, even, I'm just showing, I know I don't have enough delta V for this maneuver, but eventually, you know, you should line up here, kind of, and then be able to, get a moon, or, Duna orbit, technically. But look at that, it's 6,000 delta V. So even though it looked like that was the best place to do this maneuver, it's really not. We need to find a point where the distance, like our closest approach, is right where we want it to be, which is actually close. So there it was, kind of like that far away. Someone is drilling something somewhere. That is fantastic. Love that. So here, it got closer. So in my mind, is that someone drilling something? Or driving a really small... No, they were sawing something. Okay. Yes, there you go. We even got even closer to... Jesus Christ! I need to close the window. My apologies. It was, in reality, a leaf blower. Oh my god, I didn't pause the game. Oh no. It's not like a burn I just said is 400 days away. Well, the good news is that while we do this, by the way, we can just launch another mission. And just set a timer for when we need to do the maneuver. Which I probably will be doing. Because I could try and put this thing around Eve as well. Anyway. This, yeah, look, this is getting closer. So if we do it like here-ish. Can't even, oh my god, it's perfectly lined up so I can't see it. Here. Again, a little bit closer. But right next to the descending node. It looks like it's freaking the frick out. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit more to this side. Like here. Which would be a burn. If this works, this would be a burn in just 2 days. Oh, wait, I actually understand now. Right. The reason it's completely different is because this is a burn in 400 days, this is a burn in 2 days because it's in front of us. And that's why it looks completely different. But maybe that means we can find a point along this side where we would get an encounter. So how about the apoapsis? How close do we get on the apoapsis burn? Very not close. Very not close. Okay. How about right next to, like, where we just passed on the orbit? How do we try here? How close is it? You see, it's getting closer. So that to me says I'm gonna cut our attempts. That was a disconnect sound. Please don't be the microphone. It's not the microphone. Okay. If I go 1,000 times, 10,000 times speed, just, you know, let some time pass. Couple days. Then, once again, along this path, add a maneuver. And look at that, we're closer and closer. So, it will be... It'll take a year to get to the point where we need to do the burn, but once again, we can run multiple missions at the same time with these things and just set them in courses where they will eventually get them encounter with the planets we want them to have an encounter with, and just use the alarm clock, I assume, to know when we need to do our next maneuver. That sort of thing. So, once again, I'm going to speed up quite a bit. There you go. We're past the descending node, so what if at the descending node we did this maneuver again? We're closer. Are we? Or are we getting further away? Separation 4.7 million. Compare that to... if we did it a bit further away. Further along, rather. 4.5 million. Yes, it is in fact getting closer. So that means that we just need to speed up even more than this. How about at this point? 3.23 million. Yep. And even closer. Oops, don't need that maneuver. Come on. Oops. 2.9. Yeah. Eventually we will get to the point where along this path we get the burn we need. I'm aware that this is probably not how you're supposed to be doing it. I'm just testing the waters. That's why I'm sending a drone first instead of a manned mission, because that manned mission would be rough. Oh, that one looked real close. Did you see that? It's like 1.5 million. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Further still. Been out here for 69 days. Nice. Over here. Do the maneuver. Less than 1 million. Further still. Add maneuver. Oh, there it was. There it is. There's the encounter. Right? Okay, so it looks like this would give us an encounter, but it would give us an encounter on our second lap? 1 year, 319 days? Can't really tell what's going on here, because why is there a separate thing for closest approach shown here if we're actually getting the encounter? That is very confusing to me? Or is that showing the closest approach after... oh, it's showing closest approach after the encounter, surely. So the lowest burn we need is... like right here, and it gives us a periapsis of 21 million. I think we can do better. I think we can definitely do better. So let's not concern ourselves with this maneuver yet. Let's give ourselves a little bit more time. Add maneuver here, 1 year, 19 days. And let's see. This is too far off to give us the thing we need by the looks of it. So how about a little bit earlier, like here, when you're 17 days, just to get the perfect points we need. There's something going on here. I saw something. It's a very brief window. Oh, that's an even bigger periapsis. So yeah, the perfect point is somewhere further back. Let's keep testing it out. Oh, there was something here. Periapsis 19 million. Trying to figure this out. That's the sun. Duna periapsis 29 million. 20 million. 19 million. And then it gets bigger again. 22. So 19 million is probably the best we can do. I don't know if we'll get a close approach to Duna with this. Okay, 20 mil. 29. 20.5. But it feels like there should be a point where I can, like, very close to this. Where I can make that periapsis be, like, 0. So let's say this is a roughly 1,110 burn we need on that, okay? Roughly. So let's add a maneuver. 1,100 and something. 30. 30 million still. 20 million. 17, yes. 6 million. 2 million. Oh, this is it. Okay, maybe that's where we have it. So how about just before then? And we can get like a periapsis of almost 0. That would be stellar. This is it. This has gotta be it. 8 mil. 9 mil. Okay, maybe. I'm just gonna toy around until I get a really nice number. Alright, 8 million looks like it's actually roughly the best I can get it. So, that's gonna be our maneuver. It's gonna be a bit to get there. 1 year and 9 days. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say... how do I... There you go. Duna maneuver. Make no changes to the warp level in game. Halt the current time warp and turn to 1x speed. Yes. Could you even actually pause the game? If you can pause the game for me, that would be stellar. Display an on-screen message. Play the sound as well. Okay, that should be okay. I doubt we'll actually need that alarm, because I would assume that this would be the first maneuver we do, but maybe we'll see if something happens when we try and do another maneuver now, another launch of the Dune Hat. Don't see why not just make another Dune Hat here. Let me see my recording real quick. Yeah, we're good. Launch another Dune Hat around Eve. So let's go to the tracking station. Actually, didn't need the tracking station, come to think of it. I'm gonna disable unknown real quick. Space objects, so that it's not cluttering everything up. Leave facility. And launch the Dune Hat again. And this time we'll be going for Eve. And I'm gonna try and do the same thing I did with our previous thing. Set the moon as a target. Well, I guess it actually doesn't really work, because, well, no, wait. We do need to go in this direction, so maybe that's perfect? I don't know, let's try it. Like, if I do a burn at this node, the ascending node, yo, we actually do get a slingshot effect. With very little burn? We just need enough to put us in an escape route. Come on. There it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So let's aim for it, and then speed towards the maneuver. And that should be solid. Good. Yep. Fast forward. Ten times speed. There we go. And 3, 2, 1, burning. It should leave us with even more burn to do the maneuver we need to get into Eve's orbit. Which is great. It's really good. There we go. And then we just let her ride. Then we have, of course, this moon encounter. We speed up, and then we're off to the races. We let that happen, so we are on the escape. We're really slow. Huh. Our orbit speed is minuscule, but that's our speed relative to Kerbal, right? And then this is gonna pop back up because it's gonna be calculating a speed around the sun, which is probably like roughly the same as our speed around, like Kerbal's speed around the sun. Actually, we're matching it like really well. Yeah. Like if I look at Kerbal, if I can get to actually see Kerbal in there. Wait, can I see that what Kerbal's speed is? It's being weird about it. Oh well. Anyway. We're doing just the same thing we were doing before. Let's see if I go like set as target. Come on. Joop. Set as target, Eve. Sending node. What if they did something right here? Like, descending node, look at how close that is to Eve's orbit there. So at ascending node, we cut our speed until... Oh, wow, look at that. What is the distance there? Closest approach, 1.4 million. That's not too bad. We're, like, real close, so let's remove that. How about a little bit after? Whoops. 1.4 still, okay. How about like right here? Got bigger. Wait, so if it got bigger, that means that we need to do it before the ascending node? Yeah. Look at that. It's actually really close. Separation 430. Can I tilt it in a way where it becomes lower? 472, no. 441. 428. 422. 449. No. Not quite. Wait, do I need to do the burn even sooner then? If I do a maneuver like right here. Check this out. Yes! That's exactly right. It's a periapsis that it looks like it's not that great, but if I do this again, where I make the descending node on the other side, essentially match up with that periapsis, dude. Until they're right where they're... no. $3.4 million. I mean, this is already way closer than it was with... Oh my god, look at this. This is way closer than our Duna approach. With way less burn as well. And happening way sooner. Well. There you have it. Wait, what? Start burn in 417 days. What? Apparently that's something I need to do in 417 days? Oh my god, that's gonna be trippy. So I need to make an alarm here. But is that accurate? By the way, let's stop speed of time. Yes, it is, because we're spinning in that direction. You fool. You foolish fool. Okay. Let's edit that to be called the Eve maneuver. Let's actually not change anything else about it. Let's just apply changes. You're pointing towards the maneuver. You have power. You have connections to stuff. Connect to solar plexus. You might connect to Dune Hat along the way. You might connect to Orbit Bot Mark 1 over there. And basically, I think you're gonna be fine. If we see that we have problems with the connections, I mean, we'll just relaunch and then we'll have the previous Dune Hat to act as a relay and that sort of shtick. But okay. So the first maneuver is going to actually be the Duna maneuver. Do we launch like a third mission while we're here? Like Moho? Or Dress? Can I launch something into the sun? I assume actually... Probably can. Probably can. But I don't think it's gonna be accomplishing anything. So... I assume, like, all my scientific equipment will burn and explode before it reaches anything useful. So, you know what? Let's warp through an entire year of time. Preemptively switching control in the tracking station to the first Dune Hat, going for Duna. Fly that. Should be pointing towards the maneuver. And then we fast forward to the maneuver. It's gonna be a bit, right? It's gonna be over a year. But it's fine. You know, it's fine. We did just disconnect from the network, though. Ooh. Ooh, that's not good. Well, let's hope it reconnects, right? That's all I can really do, is hope it reconnects. And if it doesn't, I mean, we'll just find another maneuver to do. It's not like it's not in an orbit that eventually will lead to a maneuver being possible. And yeah, see, it's reconnecting, and it might connect to, like, these guys over here. Yeah, you know, it's fine. Because they are connected. They are actually connected to, Kerbal. So, it's fine. It's fine. Can't see where is the other Dune hat? Solar Plexus. Dune hat, there you are. Where is that the right Dune hat? I don't know. No, it can't be. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe it is. Maybe it is actually spinning. No, it should be spinning that way. What am I talking about? Of course it's spinning this way. I don't know why I decided to set the maneuver a year later than I would expect it to set the maneuver, but... meh. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Buddy. Still speeding up. Even though it said time warp cancelled. Crazy. I can also just remove the alarm because I'm here. And then we time warp again. Okay. We're connected. Which is good. I'm going to... oh god. Oh god, it's doing the... ooh. I hate it when it does that. When I click on this and it clicks on an orbit behind the time thing. But that's fine. Okay. 23-second burn. 2, 1, burning. There we go. We have our periapsis with Duna. We don't have much delta V in this level. Well, I mean, let's see. If we add a maneuver that's retrograde. Oh, it actually... did you see that? It actually doesn't take that much at all to get an orbit. Yeah. It takes like 500... delta V to get an orbit around Duna, what we're doing here. It's gonna be 233 days from now that we do the maneuver. You know. Is what it is. And then we switch to this level and get a nice, tight orbit. If we can get a polar orbit, that would be neat. But then again, I don't even have the... thing that scans for resources. I mean, it's just that the polar orbit helps get the most biomes you can get. Is the thing. Well, since that's 200 days away, we go back to the tracking station. We switch over to the Dune hat that is going around to meet with Eve. Yes, indeed. Points maneuver. And warp to said maneuver. Whew, okay. Auto time warp cancelled. What do you mean? Shut up. Good, thank you. Then we 10 times speed it till we need to do the actual maneuver. And this one's, once again, it's way shorter. It's an 18-second burn. Which means that we are... I think we're very likely to get a polar orbit around Eve, just because we'll have like 2,000 plus delta V to get it done, and we're going to be even closer to Eve than we are to Dress. So, come on. Okay. Then, at our Eve periapsis, which is a 2 milli periapsis, which is so epic, add a maneuver. Oh, it's also going to be quicker than the Dress maneuver. We do a retro... What? What is this thing happening here? Well, anyway. Add maneuver to get us a... just any kind of apoapsis so that we can tighten that up again afterwards. Just 300 burn to do it. It's phenomenal. And once again, should be good to go. So I'm gonna 10,000 times speed it, and look, of course, that at the fact that nothing is really moving to a significant level. Okay. Sort of just doing this to keep an eye on the fact that Dune Hat's definitely not hitting that spot we need before this Dune Hat hits it. Yeah, it looks like it. I'm gonna double and triple and quadruple check just to be sure, because I don't want to miss the maneuver on the Dune Hat. So, has a maneuver in 104 days, we have a maneuver in 43 days. Yes, okay. Then it's all correct. Points maneuver. Time warp to the maneuver. Oof. Time warp complete. Okay. Still have a full connection. So that's good. Ooh, actually gonna be very easy to get a polar orbit on Eve. That's wild. Because, like, look at how close we are to a polar orbit already. Alright. Tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up. Okay, that's basically good enough. So that gives us a high orbit where we can make a low orbit afterwards. While we're over here, though... well, then again... no, I don't want to do any science yet because it requires us to be on our final stage here. So I would actually like to make sure our orbit is nice and tight first. So first off, we need to try and make it... How do I make you polar again? Do we do it at a periapsis here? Or like, maybe at this point? So it twists like... Let's give that a shot. Yeah! Yeah. Okay. And then tighten it. Then lower that. I think that counts as a polar orbit, and it's gonna be... Ooh, that's gonna be a nice periapsis as well. 101. Start burn in 2 hours. We can get this done. That would be super. That would be just super. Okay. Ten times speed to the exact maneuver. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. Holy shit! Look at that! What I'd like to do real quick is... decouple... you. I feel like this thing is gonna... Okay, I'm gonna save game. It's okay if this thing gets destroyed because we just need to get the other antenna out, but it's definitely gonna probably explode. Ooh, it actually didn't. How about that? Then we... Oh. Blow that. What the heck just happened there? Where did this battery? Where's this? Where's it? Where did the battery just go away? Well, we're just gonna extend our solar panels now. That was something. I hope we have enough batteries left to do everything we need to do. Let's run the magnetometer boom test. Never mind, it's broken. Observe the goo. Transmit the goo. Yeah, it's fine. Nice. Is this one working? It is, okay. Let's run this one then. That was unfortunate. 189! From being high over in space as well. Why do we have plenty of science? And then we can rerun it when we're lower. Holy. Should extend this one just in case as well. Where do we have some science experiments we actually can rerun? We definitely had some in here, unless they all exploded. The fact that it's broken is a pain. But that's why we brought 2 of them. Isn't that something? No, it's all battery packs. Battery packs. Battery packs. Gravioli detector. Transmit the graviolis. Then temperature. There's a barometer in here somewhere. But, yeah, I do not know where. It might have also just exploded, to be fair. So, I'm not gonna concern myself with that. It means it's also not the most important part of our science. But while we're, you know, this is a stable orbit, we can chill with it. Let's go to the tracking station. And get our orbit around Duna as well. Oh my goodness. 60 days for the maneuver. Sounds good. And yeah, I mean, keep in mind, now we have a satellite relay around Eve, and we're about to have one around Duna as well. All very, very useful for future projects. I guess they got blown up because of these struts. So I just realized that these connect to that. So they're okay. It's very weird. It's very weird what I've accomplished there. We're fine. You're currently connected to Bulker Banner. All right, buddy. Whatever you say. So let's speed on up to this point. Expect we're not gonna get as nice of an orbit around... Whoa. Around, well then again, actually we're gonna be close to a polar one. Probably just not as nice and tight of an orbit. Around, Duna here. Give it a shot. And there you have it. Okay. Well, that's a periapsis, so let's just do an apoapsis burn and bring that as close to Duna as we can get it. Oh. We can try and get an encounter with Ike. And then go orbit around Ike, but kind of would prefer... Well, actually, hold on. Would technically take us... Dude. This is a sick maneuver. It would take 42 burn. 0.6 seconds for it? Really? And it would effectively put us briefly in an Ike periapsis so we can get data from it, and then put us in a tighter orbit around Duna, which is also a polar orbit? Huh. If this goes exactly as it's shown, this is a contender for greatest maneuver I have gotten to pull in Kerbal space program. So that's pretty neat. Hope that works. I'm not gonna do a full burn because it's a 0.6 second burn, by the way. Definitely not full burn material there. So let's get our time sped up. I think do it like roughly here is okay. Okay, how does this look then? Say that's the maneuver. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Well, I think... Okay, well, once again, I'm going to try and dump these. Okay, that worked out fine. Extend these solar panels everywhere. Extend the antenna. Like this. Try and get rid of that. Once again, just look at the magnetometer went completely away. What the hell is wrong with... Okay. and the other one's broken. Oh, that sucks. That really actually just sucks a lot. Wait, where's any of the scientific equipment that survived? There's those. Goo containment. Mystery goo containment. The gravioli? God, both of them being broken is so bad. Okay, graviolis at least we can do. Good. And probably the thermometer is in here somewhere. There's barometer as well in there. Just can't click it. See it. I can't click it. Okay, well. This one was a bit more of a failure, but good news, we get a lot of gravioli readings from everywhere. Oh, I also realized what is this maneuver now? That maneuver is a crash into Ike. Huh? Can we fix that? Let's do a prograde burn of a single nanosecond. There we go. Can we get much higher? We got a maneuver here. Aw, we messed it up. Oh, that's... Wait. No. There's a maneuver here that works. Just need to find it again. There it is. That's the maneuver. Point to it. Speed up to it. And I think after this orbit is ready, I'm just gonna... that's gonna be the episode, because off screen I'm just gonna be collecting a bunch of scientific data repeatedly. This is good, though. It's real good. There we go. Okay. So let's then do a maneuver at the Duno Apoapshish, where we once again retrograde burn. We can do another Ike pass, that's funny as hell. Okay. We do that until I have a teensy weensy periapsis. 11k. 31k, there you go. First, we... Oh, right, because the maneuver point should change. Right. We speed ourselves up until we are at our Ike encounter. Man, Ike spins fast. Golly. Golly gee. Willikers. 1000 speed, and there is our Ike encounter, right? A little bit further. There we go. Then, during our Ike encounter, of course, we read the data from, let's do the mystery goo canister, whatever. It's not much, but let's do it. Really wish the magnetometer hadn't exploded violently, but that's a design flaw. That is my fault, so whatever. Ravioli, though. Look at that. Wait, I already... Where's the thermometer? There it is. And we just speed towards the maneuver. And we do that. That should be basically fine. There you go. 12K thing there. I think the gravioli should give me another different reading now, right? I guess I was already overdoing his polls last time. Let's do 1,000 times speed for a little bit, 10,000 times speed, whatever. Get real close to the planet, because I want to look at it. I missed it. But look at it, it's down there. Look at that, it's the planet. Oh. I wish that thing would work. Oh well. Do another last reading of the graviolis. Look at that, more science. And I just want to briefly return us to the Space Center and look at a big number. Look at that. Big number. Okay, that was that.